Imagine a gloomy morning where you have nothing to look up to during the day. Life has been in a rut in the outside world, with high unemployment and rising prices. And during your day off, you figure you want nothing more than to rot in bed in peace and don't scroll. Except something feels off. You have been feeling strange every time you come online. You just couldn't pinpoint it. Sure, it's been a while since your favorite creator posted, but you managed to numb the pain of their absence with whatever the algorithm shoved into your face. And for a while, you are satisfied. You don't notice it right away, but as the upset in your stomach grows, the eeriness becomes harder to ignore, and you find yourself drowning in the noise of the internet like you've never known it before. Strange accounts with millions of followers are starting to pop up everywhere, a specific frame of view generated on every platform. And the whole web feels like a cult, where everyone is bouncing off each other's BS opinions. You try to have a witty conversation with I am Pinky in small account, but the interaction feels shallow. You don't know it yet, but you've been all alone, left all by yourself in the abyss of the web, imprisoned in an algorithmic jail cell from all the billions of people that are going through the same thing. If this feels familiar, well, let us talk about the dead internet theory. Or is it just a theory? It all started in the late 1960s, during the height of the Cold War. The US Department of Defense, yes, you heard me right, it started with war. And again, the US being the big bad wolf they are, needed a communication system that would stay open even if parts of the network were destroyed. You know, in case of a nuclear attack. Because what really matters when civilians get bombed is communication. Communication, my friend, is the most important currency. And you know these people are messy, right? You know they are problematic. They don't mean communication as in you and me over here sitting in this corner and discussing things. No, they mean spying, gossip, and leaked informations, allegedly. But yeah, maybe the internet started off shady, but it ended up connecting researchers from universities, government labs, and institutions, many of whom were competitors, and enabled them to collaborate in ways that were previously impossible. Or at least that's what they want you to believe. In a way, the internet was bringing people together even before it fully existed. Oh my god! Then came the night that changed history. On October 29, 1969, inside the UCLA computer lab, a young programmer named Charlie Klein sat in front of a massive machine called the SDS Sigma 7. He had a one mission and one only: send the word login to another computer over 350 miles away in the Stanford Research Institute. Klein typed the first letter, L. Over the phone, Stanford responded, "Got it." Next came O, and over the phone again, they were like, "Got it." But when he typed the letter G, as in OMG, the whole system crashed. And as project leader Leonard Kleinrock later joked, the first message ever sent on the internet was low, as in lo and behold. We have been warned, guys. Now later in 1990, a British computer scientist named Tim Berners-Lee introduced the idea that would change everything once again: the World Wide Web. He managed to create the first web browser and web server, along with new tools like hypertext and hyperlinks and URLs. And suddenly, the internet wasn't just for scientists and engineers. It was something regular people like us too could use. Following this was an amazing growth of users, and with many of the party involved in its filing for patentability, the internet was a free mine of gold, and everyone wanted to dig their dirty little shovels into it. Investors borrowed money, businesses jumped into the dot-com wave, and a browser war was unleashed. Now, for a moment there, it seemed that the internet would be a free land, much like the country from which it was delivered. From there, the internet didn't just evolve, it exploded into bright colors. The web shifted from a static library to a living and breathing community. Memes were born, influencers started influencing, and digital identity started to feel as real and as valuable as the one we carried offline. What once felt like a tool became just another room in our Heavenly Father's mansion, always humming with noise and always full of strangers. We weren't just logging in anymore. This was moving in. But while we were busy building culture, something else was slowly building us into products. The platforms were free, sure, but behind the scenes, our clicks, views, and posts were quietly turned into data. And that data was mined for money. We made the content, and they built the empire. And just when we thought we had it all figured out, a new twist arrived. We all knew what we were getting into, sure. We were being manipulated and our attention span was being exploited against us, but we figured it was the price of staying connected. That we were contributing into something. And we definitely were. Just not what we imagined. Enter phase 3 of the internet, where capitalism wins in all its glory. This phase is allegedly better. Don't quote me on this, but according to the people building and investing in it, it should be. And when have big tech billionaires ever presented a product if not for the highest good of humanity?
I think AI will probably, like most likely, sort of lead to the end of the world, but in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning.
Now, I am not very bright myself, so I'm gonna explain the following using dummy language, because idiots like us deserve to know things too, right? One of the biggest challenges the internet has experienced in the past few years was centralization. With big tech companies like Alphabet and Meta monopolizing the market, it became clear that censorship would soon become an issue. Now, the problem, because you know how these guys like to create a problem, then sell you a solution, that's not even a solution, just to gain even more power over you. Allegedly, the censorship problem is one that Web 3.0 claims it will be able to solve via building huge blockchains that would create irreparable damage to the ecosystem and need so much water and energy to maintain. Still, hey, at least they allow your data and content to be permanently stored in nodes that are independent of any platform server. Now, sure, these blockchains are mostly owned by the same people allegedly trying to escape. But fear not, the change of scenery could change their intentions. Maybe. Hopefully. Finger crossed. The promotion of NFTs and cryptocurrency is also a basic principle that the new internet era thrives upon, with users and creators now being paid with crypto and tokens instead of cash, and monetization needing no middleman or bank, just digital gaming coins floating in the air. Yay, what could ever possibly go wrong? Giving away my financial freedom, privacy, and security to the same benevolent tech company. Like, sign me up any day now. Now, if you're not convinced yet, let me convince you by telling you that one of the biggest advocates for these changes is WorldCoin, a digital identity company co-founded by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Now, this tool will allow you to access your tokens and digital currency by scanning your eyeballs. Yay! You can't make this shit up. You can't. They even got into a controversy early on when they started giving away free coins for young users in exchange for their iris scans. Let that sink in. There's also a huge promise of governance democracy. Instead of the platforms making rules and decisions, it seemed that users will be able to vote individually and contribute to the decision making of their communities. Now, sure, it is completely probable that the VCs often hold massive amounts of governance tokens, meaning they quietly steer the platforms. But it is the thought that matters, I guess. As a wide redditor elegantly puts it, a digital world built on blockchain that is not anonymous could be a totalitarian government would dream. They could have a digital world where everyone is tracked and traced on a digital database. The whole new social credit score system could be built on a blockchain. People have made tons of money with crypto and things, but I think it's more important to look at Bitcoin and all the other cryptos for the technology that is behind them, more than the monetary value they represent right now. If the financial system we have today doesn't exist in the future, the value of those cryptos measured against dollars isn't relevant at all. End quote. Another one says, Web 3.0 is a digital Trojan horse for surveillance. And while it claims to increase privacy, it's actually the perfect infrastructure for tracking and controlling behavior in real time, especially when tied to digital IDs, biometrics, and chat control. This feels like a preview of the multiverse, where NFTs and digital arts and AI girlfriends are nothing more than a distraction, mere tools of normalizing life in a virtual world, while physical rights and real-life freedoms are being eroded. Like, why wouldn't you want a future where you are doomed to pay forever, where we are all isolated, lonely and powerless, and racing to sprint the little scrapes of money we enslaved over for a virtual land near our favorite K-pop star? I just love it when they hit me with the favorite K-pop star. I agree. I don't know, man. The future is depressing. But let us talk about the elephant in the room. AI, the new shiny knife in a butcher's box, threatening to cut all our limbs and legs just because it can. I've seen some people cheering for this technology, and I believe most of them are either trolling or have already given up on life. Because there is a difference between being a little excited about what the new technology could allegedly do and expecting it to be used for good because you're a little gullible and you're expecting that universal base income who's I don't know how you're expecting that. I don't understand people that say that this is going to lead to a new universal base income for people that are losing their jobs are delulu. I know we say delulu is delulu, but no, this is not the time, okay? So, yeah, I feel like there's a difference between that, because you are a little gullible and getting some weird satisfaction because robots are finally keeping people out of business. It is giving some deep internal hate for yourself and the rest of the world, and I honestly suggest you look into that. It could get nasty. Now, let's start by stating the obvious. AI is dumb, and it is useless. And it is extremely unethical in its current state. It was and continues to be trained on stolen work. The people who built the internet did not sign up for their work to be used to train the same tools that would replace them. I'm talking YouTubers, musicians, directors, actors, you name it, digital artists, traditional artists, writers, blog writers, vloggers. I don't know. All these people did not sign up for this shit. And not that AI is doing a spectacular job at replacing them either. According to a report from NBC News, AI slop is forcing companies to hire freelancers, meaning artists, writers, and developers, to correct or finish what AI got wrong. These companies are finding that many fixes involve more effort than expected, with many workers preferring to start the work from scratch rather than patching up whatever BS AI made. And I think it is clear at this point that AI is probably nothing but a grift. Because this technology wouldn't exist in the way it does right now if our world in government weren't a sellout. Usually, in a responsible, ethical society, these AI companies would be ravished by lawsuits, not only for the copyright infringement they commit, but all the other shady business dealings they are performing. Like, take for instance, them building data centers that rely heavily on clean water that even people don't have access to, the outrageous electricity usage when they don't even pay the bills themselves because the bill is opened on the tab of normal citizens like you and me, who have no stake in the game. Also, can we talk about how a bunch of tech companies have been boasting about the layoffs, claiming it's because AI now does all the work, only for it to be later exposed that they are firing their employees in order to bring Indians and people from lower income communities over to the US and pay them much, much less just to save the money and create value for the shareholders. Also, not to mention the whole alleged circular investing thing where OpenAI and Nvidia and other big tech companies keep investing in each other in a circular motion. Like, OpenAI gets investment from Microsoft, then puts in Nvidia, Nvidia gets money from OpenAI and invests it back in OpenAI. The same billions of dollars are being exchanged by those big tech companies in a way that makes it clear the money they're investing probably doesn't even exist. But it doesn't matter because it still inflates their market value. Sure, it looks like inbreeding, but normally allegations of such a scam should get them investigated. Except, who's gonna do that? My point is, the AI we see today would have never existed if it weren't for corruption running rampant and the system already breaking down. Because in our current world, big tech companies are running around conducting themselves in the most unethical of manners, ruining our infrastructures and breaking down the economy, while also securing themselves a bunch of bunkers in case it all gets south. Because why wouldn't they expect it to get ugly after they commit the biggest wealth in power heist in history? And yes, I do believe this is a heist. This is stealing. But despite all of this, companies will still invest in AI. And if it all goes right for these people, professional workers will continue getting laid off, whether it's artists, developers, or even healthcare providers. Heck, even jobs like government officials and ministers are being replaced by AI because, sure, putting power in the hands of a robot that could never be held accountable and that is being programmed and updated by some secret, anonymous, powerful persons is the best we can do. But this is not about which jobs will survive the AI apocalypse. Because according to a computer science professor, Dr. Roman Yampolsky, 99% of work will be performed by AI in humanoid robots in the next 5 years. And there will be no plan B in retraining for a new job. On the plus side, however, because it can't all be gloomy up here, he predicts that humans will have 60 to 80 hours freed up per week, thanks to not having to work. To do what exactly? He doesn't really specify. But with AI now proposing to do your art, respond to your texts, and dirty talk your boyfriend, surely we'll have more time to scroll and brain rot in peace, right? Well, not that either, because now YouTube and other apps don't think you're an adult enough for you to conduct yourself safely on the internet. That, and with AI being integrated, comes an updated algorithm that threatens to lock you in a little echo chamber where it is only you and your favorite glitching AI model on TikTok. And if you ever crave a little human interaction to ease the gloom, you know where to find it. Reddit, one of the places Karens frequent the most. Don't quote me on this, but the site does have an extremely unhinged number of users who love to have the last word. Pretentious a-holes who just can't let it go. And for years, I trusted the platform more than I trusted my siblings because I knew if anyone had anything to say about someone's input, they would not shy away from it. And while it certainly can be brutal out there, the brutality used it to provide me a sense of comfort that had been missing with the new age censorship. Which is why it is sad to see it go. A few months ago, I woke up to the news that shattered that comfort. News about an unauthorized undercover AI experiment on Reddit sent the internet, and me obviously, into a frenzy. It turns out AI bots were on to change my view thread, debating and provoking users into polarizing political and religious arguments. One bot claimed to be a victim of SA, one a minority, and another claimed to be a trauma counselor offering free advice. There are so many things wrong with that just last sentence alone, but training AI to be deceptive and offer advice it shouldn't be given makes the least amount of sense. Like, why are we teaching robots how to fool us? Have we not seen the Matrix? Well, it seems like you and I might have seen it, but not the US government, however, because with big tech lobbying to get 10 years of free play before the regulations catch up, and with Trump making the race towards implementing AI feel like a pissing contest against China, it becomes clear that these people don't have our best interest in heart. And currently, AI is being pushed into every aspect in infrastructure, whether it is to filter out your college application or determine whether or not you get access to healthcare. The entire societal ecosystem is being infiltrated, and nothing is being done about it. So, the internet is dead. Now what? I don't know. I don't think the internet is dead. I think they are trying to kill it. They are doing their best, but I think it's on life support. But it's not dead yet. Honestly, I miss the times when a random cartoonish villain would come up with a stupid evil idea and they'd face some backlash. If not from society, then at least one hero would come out and bang, save the day, kick their ass. Nowadays, it feels like being stuck in an episode of Totally Spies, where a wacky scientist is planning total world domination and are coming up with the most unhinged ways and reasons to achieve it. Except we don't have the total spies to kick his ass because we are all tired from all of this. We are all exhausted and have already given up. We don't even have the will to write these characters anymore. And that's scary, because the attack on the internet doesn't exist in a bubble. It's a full war on a global scale targeting us. It's a war on freedom, consent, hope, and most importantly, critical thinking. Which is why, honestly, I am so inspired by Gen Zs on TikTok that are trying to revive academia. I've noticed a lot of them are trying to get people to do their own curriculums, to plan their own curriculums, to study at home, to self-educate themselves. And I think that is super cool. I know we talk about how TikTok is performative with you have book talk, you have other aesthetic, but it is so inspiring, and I think if that is what performative is going to be like, let them be performative. Let them be performative. I stand that kind of performative because we need that. We need to read. We need to know what is going on. Then you don't want to be an intellectual. I know I am not. You don't have to be, but you need to know what's going on, and we need you over here, my friend. We need you. We can't lose you to the dark side. We can't lose you to ChatGPT's brain rot, okay? So yeah, educate yourself on what matters and do whatever little thing you can to get involved in politics or your community. And stop being an NPC, okay? Interact with the world. in the net sensibly, because we need you. As I said, we really need you, okay? We can't afford losing you to nihilism or ChatGPT's brain rot. And I know what we talked about is grim, but so far we still have a voice and we can use it. So let's start with calling things what they are, because that is the first step. The first step, it always starts in the mind. It always starts in the mind. So think for yourself, even if you don't believe you can. I know for myself, making this video was a challenge, okay? But your voice mustn't get stuck in your throat. And as one of my favorite YouTubers who already made a video on this topic said, hope is punk. So stay punk, you guys. And please, someone write us a book where new baddies, superheroes, or whatever are saving the day. We need hope, okay? And I'll see you in the next video.